All right, Shalom. Kahalo Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Shalom and salutations and double honors again to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elder bishops, the elders, prophets, teachers, and evangelists of Great Millstone, who I continue to learn this 100% true from. Shalom to Speckled Bird, the Confused Face, the Akim Aqua, the Akim on the highways and byways, and last but not least, the elect. And just more video, man, of things that's going on in the around Babylon, man. And you know what I mean? I could be wrong, but I don't see this de-escalating. I see this continuously growing, and it's gonna get violent real soon, man. You know what I mean? That's the saying they say, don't let a good crisis go to waste. So let's get some video, and then I'll rock the Zog, give you some scriptures. Check it out.
So while most Americans were watching headlines overseas, Iran quietly issued a direct nuclear threat against the United States. And then, just hours later, an illegal immigrant previously deported was arrested in Los Angeles for throwing a Molotov cocktail at law enforcement officers. You heard that right, guys. A man who wasn't even supposed to be in this country just tried to murder U.S. police officers on our own streets, while a foreign regime threatens to vaporize our bases abroad. Now, what if I told you this isn't just a coincidence? What if I told you guys that the chaos that you're seeing in our cities right now and the threats abroad are strategically aligned, and we're being lied to about both of them? So in today's video, I'm going to show you how ICE, how DHS, and the U.S. military are being deployed right now, not to stop riots, but to brace for something worse. Okay, we're just seeing the beginning of this, guys. We're going to expose what Mayor Karen Bass, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, and Governor Gavin Newsom of California did not tell you. Why President Trump is suddenly losing confidence in diplomacy, and unfortunately, the chilling truth about what Iran just moved in from China. Now, if you think America's safe right now, think again, guys, because while our leaders play politics, America is under attack. And by the end of today's video, you're going to see exactly how deep this thing goes. So let's get started. I want to start with what the media tried to downplay, but what should have been breaking news in every household across this country. They try to downplay it. By the way, if you appreciate the daily news updates, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Because while people were distracted by staged sound bites and celebrity drama, Iran's defense minister looked the United States in the face and threatened war. Not just symbolic, not a drill. He said, and I quote, "If a conflict is imposed on us, all U.S. bases are within our reach, and we will boldly target them." That's not some saber rattling. That is a battlefield declaration, and this just came as nuclear negotiations were collapsing. Now, here's the kicker, guys. Iran did not stop there. They promised a proportionate response if attacked, which, coming from a regime that calls us the big Satan, that should raise every alarm. But it gets worse, because just 24 hours later, President Trump went public, and for the first time, he admitted he's no longer confident that we're going to reach a peaceful deal with Iran.
So you hear what's going on. It's escalating. It's like it. You can get another one.
Think about that, guys.
If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that.
They're letting you know that real war is about to take place, and blood's about to be shed. Right now, they're throwing tear gas and shooting plastic bullets, but real bullets are about to start flying.
If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired, because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead.
And listen and understand this, that they're talking to Issachar, they're talking to you Israelites, and it's definitely going to reflect, even though right now it's just the northern kingdom, it's going to be the southern kingdom. They can't wait to get their hands on us. You know what I mean? The southern kingdom. But they letting you know that, you know, we're about to start killing and hurting and destroying y'all.
We're not going to play.
Good evening. It is great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night. And we begin tonight with the tense standoff in Los Angeles after those sweeping ICE.
I think I had that one already.
Immigration raids.
One more. Let me look at some scriptures.
Well, look at California right now. Look at Los Angeles. What else do you think that is, besides violent colonization turning inward? You think this is about immigration law? You think ICE is enforcing laws? No. They are marauders, and you are the loot. ICE is not a law enforcement agency. It is a mercenary force under contract to private corporations, hunting human beings for profit. That's all it is. That's exactly what it is. They work for the private prison industry. Your so-called immigration department is just a subsidiary. It's an interface for the private prison industry. That's what it is. That's what you turned it into. These aren't arrests that they're making. These are profit-making activities that they're engaged in. Every detention is a paycheck. Every deportation is a dividend. Do you understand? Corporate contractors like Geo Group, like Core Civic, they're making billions of dollars from these cages, from this trauma, from this misery, from this terror. This is modern slavery packaged as homeland security. Down home.
Modern slavery, that's what the NWO is. It's the new modern way of putting people in perpetual slavery.
ICE is just a corporate interface. It's not a government agency. It's not a government agency. It's a corporate interface. Its core operations, transport, detention, surveillance, those are all being handled by private contractors, by the Geo Group, by Core Civic, BI Incorporated, private charter airlines. None of these companies are deputized, but they're the de facto operators of everything that ICE is supposed to do. ICE is just a shell. All the corporations, that's the substance. ICE is just a logistics operator. Policy is being written by investors. Stocks spike for all of those private prison companies immediately following any anti-immigrant executive orders, any deportation orders. Investor briefings from Geo Group and from Core Civic and so on, they literally celebrate any policy shift that increases detentions and deportations. Look, this isn't correlation, this is causation. The logic of finance capital now dictates state coercion. If Wall Street sees profit in suffering, then policy is adjusted accordingly. You make business a no-go zone for democracy, a no-go zone for accountability and for any sort of restrictions or limitations and so on. And it grew and grew and grew in unchecked power until it captured your state. It's only about profit and it's only about growth. And like I said, they have captured your government, and that's how your whole country is run now. That's how your whole society is run now. And you should have recognized that they never ever believed in so-called democracy. Like I said, you're witnessing the logistics arm of what can only really be called an ethnic cleansing operation outsourced to the highest bidder. Yes, I said ethnic cleansing because do you really believe that this isn't racial? Do you really think that this has anything whatsoever to do with someone's immigration paperwork? We know who they're targeting and we know why. And if you have any sense, you'll also understand that this practice is going to do nothing but expand, just like any business expands. That's what businesses do. It means they're going after immigrants now. This is a pilot project. They normalize it by targeting immigrants, but this is a profit-making endeavor. You'd have to be crazy to think that they're not going to multiply their revenue streams by targeting other demographics, non-citizens and citizens. so-called minorities, members of the global majority, the poor, the homeless, the protesters. This doesn't go anywhere but expansion. They've turned immigration enforcement into a business model. They've turned it into a supply chain. You've got militarized raids rounding up immigrants like livestock, funneling them into for-profit prisons, slapping electronic shackles on their ankles, and shipping them out on corporate charter flights like Amazon parcels. I mean, they literally said that. They literally said that they want to run deportations like Amazon Prime. That wasn't satire. That was the ICE director's actual analogy. And you know what? He wasn't inaccurate. He was being accurate. Does Amazon care what's in the box? No, neither does ICE. They don't care what's in the box. You're not a person, you're inventory. Now you may think, well, I'm not undocumented, so this isn't my problem. Wrong. Because this isn't just about who's being deported. It's about why this is being done the way it's being done in the first place. It's about who's in line next time when the migrants are not enough to satisfy the profit potential of their model. You understand me? The infrastructure right now is being built today. The data surveillance, the AI-powered raids, the indefinite detention laws, the elimination of due process, the criminalization of entire populations. This isn't going to stop with immigrants. You'd be crazy to think it is. Like I said, it's just a pilot project. It's going to be used on you. It's going to be used on your protesters. It's going to be used on your political dissidents. It's going to be used on whoever refuses to comply. It's a system of repression, not immigration. They're using wartime laws from 1798 to deport people without hearings. Wartime laws? What war? I don't see any war except for the one that the government itself is waging on their own population. And they're waging that on behalf of nothing but the private sector, on behalf of the empire of capital, yes. Understand what I'm saying? Your country has been conquered. I don't know what you think I mean when I say that your country has been captured, and your state has been captured. It's been conquered. It's been conquered by corporate power. Well, what does that make ICE? It's a colonial mercenary force, nothing, no more, no less. They don't protect communities, they invade communities and steal people. Where have we seen that before? I said they're marauders. This isn't law enforcement. I mean, let me say this with absolute clarity. The United States is in breach of international law. The UN has said it, human rights experts have said it, legal scholars have said it, deporting asylum seekers without hearings, illegal. Sending people to third countries that don't recognize them, illegal. Holding civil detainees in solitary confinement for weeks at a time, illegal. Medically abusing female detainees with unnecessary surgeries, that's illegal, that's criminal, that's barbaric. ICE detention facilities are the new Guantanamos for the domestic empire. These are the Amazon warehouses of captured human beings. The expansion of for-profit detention centers and privatized deportation logistics. This shows you the hollowing out of the state. And that's a key marker of late-stage neoliberal decline. The state is no longer the enforcer of the law. Understand? It's the broker of violence outsourced to private capital. That parallels the historic decline of other empires that began to mercenize their security apparatuses just like Rome did before the collapse. The state becomes just a brand, not a body politic. Deploying military forces domestically against low-risk civilian populations, let's be honest. Migrants, families, children, and so forth. That signals the securitization of social management. That's nothing but a hallmark of unstable regimes. It shows that the ruling class, as we all know, sees its own population, or anyway segments of its own population, as the primary threat. When the United Nations human rights experts call the immigration policies in your country illegal, when you deport people to third countries without hearings, when your detention facilities are described in UN reports as sites of torture, sites of inhumane treatment, you've lost all normative power globally. Nobody respects you. Your whole brand is tarnished. The United States can never again call itself the beacon of liberty, except that everyone in the world will roll their eyes, or they'll laugh at the sarcasm. It's increasingly seen as a rogue actor. It selectively adheres to international law only when it suits their own power, their own...
I got a scripture right here. This is, he going off, man. King Bolson is going off. This is Proverbs 10 and 27, and it reads, "The fear of the Lord prolongeth days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened." Because he knows he has a short time. This is why he's doing what he's doing with the setting up the whole order out of KO, protesting. You know what I mean? Agent provocateurs out there getting paid to beef up the problem. You know, Esau is a slick devil, man. And if you don't know how he operates, you're going to be stuck out here. Let's get Matthew 24:22, and it reads, "And except those days be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved, But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. They have to, because if not, man, you hearing what these people are saying, what they're about to do to us. And that's right, I said us. Even though Jake is, the Negroes and so is not out there, that doesn't mean that they're not targeted. They're coming after us next. The second Esdras 2:13. And it reads, Go, and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. And that's what we're doing. We're watching. We're watching and we're paying attention to what's going on and what they're doing out here. Because this devil is very serious, and he knows that he has to get his NWO going real fast. Let's just Deuteronomy 32:20, and it reads, And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will seek their end. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very forward generation, children in whom is no faith. Who's he talking about? He's talking about Israel. He's talking about this generation. This generation is about to be destroyed, and Yahweh Shai is not going to help. That's why the scriptures say that Yahweh Shai is going to get ready to come to visit the land, or come visit the world which he had made. And when he visits, it's going to be with pestilence. It's going to be with famine. It's going to be with destruction. It's going to be with death. You know what I'm saying? Let me continue.
Agenda. Well, that undermines even U.S. soft power, and it isolates America diplomatically, which you don't even think is that important, but that is a significant erosion of civilizational leadership. They're doing nothing but set up the architecture of authoritarian control. That's what they're doing. This is pre-fascist legal architecture that they're setting up. Once that system is normalized, and they've normalized extrajudicial detention, indefinite holding without trial, arbitrary deportations, well, they've got all the tools they need. And they can apply those then to journalists, to protesters, to union leaders, to political dissidents, etc., etc., etc. And they will be used that way. That's how authoritarian regimes consolidate power and control. Not by overnight coups, but by the slow normalization of what begins as exceptional measures. Because what did I just...
Exceptional measures. This is Joel 3:9, and it reads, Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And this is what Iran is proclaiming to America as well, to Babylon. You know what I mean? So it's definitely going down, and these things are really happening.
Tell you, the private sector is authoritarian. And you all know it by your own work experience. The private sector is authoritarian. The private sector has now conquered and captured your government. Congress is nothing but the customer service desk for the Fortune 500. The presidency is just a brand ambassadorship. The Supreme Court is nothing but a dispute resolution hotline. So there's no way for your society to go now, except towards stricter and stricter authoritarianism. No, America is not stable. All of its coercion.
Not stable at all. This is Joel 2:20. But I will remove far off from the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, and all his savor shall come up, because he have done great things. Now, what is it when he says a person stinks? That means that blood, that blood that's been spilled. You know what I mean? Yeah.
The organs are being decoupled from law and being fused to profit. They're going to eat you to the bone. We're watching a case study in advanced private sector state capture. It's the state being repurposed to serve financial interests. Specifically, in this case, those who profit from incarceration, from deportation, from surveillance, from human disposability. I mean, the legal framework of immigration has now been converted into literally a revenue stream. Every enforcement action connected to immigration, even not just to immigration, arrest, detention, removal, this isn't just a state act anymore. It's a billable event.
Exactly. And you got to know the times that you're in. You know what I mean? You got to read and study. You know, you're constantly looking up words. You're praying. You're repenting. You know, you're fasting. You know what I mean? And I say that because I don't do all the things that I need to do on a regular basis. At times I'm horrible at fasting. I got to get better at that. So, you know, you got to pray to Yahweh Shah to put the Spirit on you. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah 57:20. But the wicked are like the troubled sea, when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. There is no peace, saith the Most High, to the wicked. So the wicked are in rulership, and there is no peace because there's constant wars and rumors of wars, and things are going on as far as war. Like you see what's going on in these videos, you see what's going on in the news, and they try to hide it from the beginning, but it can't because it's all over the country, and it's happening. And they deployed the Marines, the National Guard, I believe some of the armies out there, and it's man, these people are in the streets, and now Yahweh Shah has revved up their spirits. They don't know how to just calm down and leave. Now they have to play it out, and what's going to happen is that a lot of blood's going to be shed.
Understand? That means the corporations now have a vested interest in shaping immigration policy, just to expand the market for more detention and more deportation. But you have to understand, what is being captured is not just policy. It's the moral function of law itself in your country. I mean, the cynicism is breathtaking. Law now just becomes a delivery mechanism for corporate profits. I mean, when the system is like this, think about it. The more harm, the more profit. Overcrowding, delayed or denied medical care, lack of translators, for example, lengthy detentions, all of this increases their margins. Denial of basic rights just lowers their overhead. Geo Group gets paid by the head per day. So releasing detainees just hurts their revenue. Respecting rights, that's financially inefficient. Meaning, violating human dignity is now incentivized by the business model itself. Let that sink in. The state has not failed to regulate this. This is how they regulated it. Do you understand me? See,
this is Romans 3:11. There is none that understandeth. There is none that seeketh after the Most High. They are all gone out of the way. They are together become unprofitable. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. And this is all you seeing in Babylon, man. Everybody's wicked and is a demon. Everybody. So Yahweh shall have to destroy these people.
regulation is still regulation, but it is the state regulating its own authority out of the affairs of business. It's the state regulating its own abdication of authority in favor of business. The Trump administration shut down DHS oversight offices that investigated abuses that took place in ICE custody. Why? Because oversight impedes profit. And in America, the state has no right to do that. The state has no right to interfere in profit making. That's the final stage of private sector capture. When the captured institution itself begins to dismantle its own power in complete capitulation and submission to capital, you're conquered. You're captured. You're defeated. You are subordinate as a country. Understand this. This isn't just corruption. Capture is more than corruption. It's much more than corruption. The state no longer holds the monopoly on so-called legitimate violence. It's just the broker of outsourced violence. The elected government is no longer accountable to the people. If it ever was, it's only accountable to shareholders. There's no longer a democracy by any definition in the United States. It's a cartelized corporate security regime, just draped in constitutional vocabulary. I'm telling you, ICE is a model for post-state governance. This isn't just a case of privatization, no. This is the template for how captured states are going to govern in the 21st century. Identify a social threat, immigrants, protesters, dissidents, what have you. Monetize their containment, outsource the enforcement, eliminate transparency, and then justify everything with security. And funnel all the proceeds to shareholders. What you're seeing is the transition from public governance to corporate dominion, as clear as day. Like I said, ICE is just the prototype, but education, health, policing, even war, it's already begun the same transformation inside the United States. And that, more than anything else, tells you that America is not in control of America.
And I'm going to leave it right there, man. So, this is definitely order out of KO, man. Watch Elder Apostle Kabar's class, Daily Edification 4. Subscribe and definitely be edified. Check out the the 8 terminologies of the NWO. And with that, I'm going to say, Call Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Hakwadash, Shalom and salutations and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, who I continue to learn this 100% true. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.